Good morning. Am I audible, Mr. Rajesh? Okay. So we'll start now. Next. So in this real estate fire up series, there are 7 parts, and we have so far covered 6 parts. Naming, you can see this on screen. Getting started. If you are new in real estate industry, or whenever you start your career in real estate industry, what do you do when you start, and how do you do marketing, prospecting, how to work with sellers, work with buyers, and how to generate referrals. So far we have learned these 6 chapters, and today is the last one of this series, that is taking care of your finance. Okay, Nisha, now it is clear? It should be, because it is the highest level. Not yet. Everybody else? Am I audible properly? Anita, Ankita, Ashish Bhai, Deepali. Okay. So Nisha, can you check your speakers? Okay. So today's agenda is how it's all about budget. So define your budget, keep your business and personal finances separate, manage your cash flow, and then we have some finance secrets of successful business associates and Remax, how to win more buyers, and some best practices for online leads. So we'll start with the budget. So we all know, if we mishandle our personal finances, then it can be a disaster. And mishandling of personal finances is a common cause of an agent who gets failed. So these are people, these agents are most probably agents who were good at listing, selling, marketing and technology, but they were, believe me, horrible at handling their personal finances. So many times we hear that those agents say that they cannot budget their income and expenses because their income is variable. Sometimes they get 50,000 a month, sometimes 1 lakh a month, because income is not fixed. So they say that we cannot budget our income and expenses, but actually it's on other way around. It is because your income is variable, you have an absolute need to budget your income and expenses, right? If it was fixed, then you would know, but when it is not fixed and it is variable, it is very much need to budget your income and expenses. So the first thing to do when it comes to personal finances is to develop a budget and stick to it. The only people that can afford not to have a budget are very few people. They are so strict with their own personal finances that they have always come up spending less than they budgeted for. But as mentioned, I repeat, there are very few people that fall into this category, and for rest of all, budgeting is a very, very mandatory activity. So though it sounds like it's very scary, what do we budget, but it is actually very simple, and if you stick to the categories we mentioned here, and actually in a strict order of priority also. So these are the few categories, 6 categories actually. So first category is give back to the community. So what is that? So many agents, are very generous. when it is time to give back to their community. And giving back to the community tends to have a payback effect, and whatever you donate will come back to you in a different ways. But here we are not talking about the general uh, payback things like giving back to community, but it is actually marketing. You can also take the opportunity to market your services as you make charitable contribution or contribute to your community in many different ways. You can donate some notebooks with your name and Remax badges attached to it. So this is known as a cause marketing. And many studies indicated buyers and sellers prefer agents that are involved in cause marketing over those who are not. So if you are involved in cause marketing and some are not, then your buyers or sellers, probable buyers and sellers, might pick you than those who are not you. So if you leave this category at the end of your list, you will never have enough money for it. So that it is here on first. So that is why it is so important to put it top of the list. Second is saving and investing. So this is, it is preparation for the downs that you will find in your career. And note that it is not a matter of whether you will have slumps or not, you will have a downtime or not. It is a matter of when you will have them. Because everybody goes through a down period. So many people do not save or invest because they never have enough money to do so. And that is why it is put here on the second topmost in the list. So you need to do it regardless, it's an up period or it's a down period. Then comes the Remax fees. So the third category that you must budget for is your Remax fees, maybe it's a test fee or whatever your yearly fee. Because this is like putting gas or petrol in your car while you are going for work. So if in your car there is no petrol, there is no point you have a car. So you will not be late on your utility bill or your house payment or whatever the compulsory bills are. So do not be late on your Remax fees also. This we pay for a variety of the services that it helps grow your business. We have so many Remax Main Street convention going on, Remax University, online webinars, Remax.com, global.remax.com, bloomfire.remax.com, iConnect.remax.in, everything. And all these services are provided by region and your by office. Then comes your business expenses, such as your petrol, your car depreciation, business card, advertising, promotions, websites, real estate association fees, etc. And these are the expenses that keep your business going. So these are the expenses which help you make money, and it is feeding your workforce, so it is not something you can delay, right? Then comes personal expenses. This is the budget for your home payment, school tuition of your children, food, clothing, etc. And people are tempted to pay these expenses first, but this is putting the horse before the cart. So be realistic and conscious about your finances. You need to feed your production engine first and then pull out the funds for your personal expenses. And the last one is fun and luxury. So after you have covered all the previous categories, it is time for fun. So here is where budget for next big family vacation, your new car, a special gift for your wife or husband, etc. comes. So the process that we have described here, it guarantees financial success. It is doing things right and building your career on solid financial ground. So you will hate to see that you fail in this lucrative real estate career only because you did not know how to manage your personal finances. And for this, you don't have to be accountant, or you don't have to have a finance degree to master your own money. What you just need to do is to do budget. So keep your businesses and personal finances separate. Because what has happened and what we have seen, and you would also have seen, and if you go back to your career, you will see that most agents mix business and personal finances most oftenly. But even if you are just starting out, it is important to separate these two parts of your money life. So treat your businesses, big or small, as a separate entity from your personal life. So those who are starting in the real estate industry, this means setting up a separate checking account for your new business. You may have another account. You may deposit in that account the money that you consider your startup capital and take it from there. Pay everything either with a debit card or with a check, so all expenses are easy to track. You can also use an Excel sheet by setting up a tab for each expense category. And for each expense category, you can have 4 columns like date, concept, amount, and accumulated. Total each expense category every month and start a new. Invest in an inexpensive personal finances package which are available online from download.net to take care of your personal finances and cash flow. You can always take help of internet. Another important step is to choose an accountant that will help you with this task. So many of the senior Remax associates are taking help of sophisticated and professional accountant that we know for. So you can meet them and ask them that what kind of business entity you should set up, which varies from city, state to state. And your broker can also point you in right direction regarding the entity types that are most convenient for you. Then comes manage your cash flow. I would like to have this tab in my home. Okay, closing. So cash flow is the main thing. It is not a coincidence. Cash flow is of critical importance to anyone running a business, independently of its size. Your real estate business is also not an exception. As an agent, you must monitor your cash flow every month, every week, and probably every day. So the number one reason why businesses fail is because they run out of cash and not because they are bad at marketing. So always keep a 2 to 3 month safety net when it comes to a cash flow, and you will shield your real estate career against any down that you might have. So there are some tips to be a successful Remax agent. So like take charge of your finances. Take charge of your finances. The easiest way to lose control of your business is to lose control of your money. Do not buy consumer items on credit. Good morning, Amit bhai. Use credit cards only for convenience and not for carrying debt. You should live within your means and do not try to keep up with your co-workers, neighbors and family members. Because they are buying, you will buy. It should not happen. Invest in real estate. You can make money selling real estate, but you can get rich by buying real estate. So you have specialized knowledge of this industry and make it work for you hard. So yesterday, the day before yesterday, Mr. Bhavesh from Baroda was here and he was telling I'm getting a lot of sellers inquiry, but how to get buyers. So that led us to make this slide. So there are some secrets or some formulas to get more and more buyers. So because buying a home is very stressful thing, and as a real estate agent, you get to see home buyers at their best. That is a joy they feel when they step into their new home. But you should first usually have to see them at their worst. the stress and tension they may feel in trying to find a perfect house, that puts you in the role as advisor, friend and counselor. You need to understand how much stress and tension a buyer can have. If you will feel that, you will understand what amount of service you need to give to your buyer client. And as an agent, you might be wondering what your customer really think about home buying process and what exactly they expect from you beyond helping them to find their ideal home. And the bottom line is they expect a lot. So beyond they say they expect a lot. Other than that, what are the biggest expectation from these buyers are you need to help find the right home, help negotiating the price, help negotiating the terms of sale, and determining what comparable homes are selling for, and most importantly, assisting them with paperwork. And this is not at all. Some buyers were surveyed across, and they also said some of the biggest benefits real estate practitioner can provide is helping them understand the home buying process as well as pointing out unnoticed features or faults with the property. They might not notice, but you have to find out and notice them. What is more, the majority say they are looking for an agent who can improve their knowledge of home search areas and provide a list of service provider also. So there are 7 suggestions for real estate agents better assisting today's buyer for improved client relationship. And the first one is don't be slow to respond. Behind only honesty and integrity, response times is rated as the most important quality in real estate professionals. So what you need in order is honesty, integrity and response time to respond to your client. If you have not responded quickly, the buyer will not like it. So how quick is your response time? Whenever you get an inquiry, how quick you are. Real estate agents ignore or respond late, too late. So nearly 75% of customer data coming through online channels or whatever channels they may be. And some study which also evaluated agent response rate to leads from customer found that nearly half of agents did not respond to the leads. And maybe some 25% of the leads that received callbacks were contacted about 8 hours after the forms were submitted online or you get a call. So today your customer wants to get a response within an hour, but more likely within 15 to 20 minutes. So you need to be a little faster. Next. You need to be a good negotiator, a savvy negotiator. So most buyers are satisfied with the real estate agents they choose. Maybe 9 out of 10, if the buyers have chosen you as an agent, they are satisfied from your work. But there is one area in particular they feel agents need a little extra work, and that is a negotiation skills. This negotiation skills and technology skills are the only areas where buyer expresses that they are less satisfied with their agents. You should always try to be a savvy negotiator. So there are plenty of places, online, offline, to brush up your negotiation skills. So try to do that. Then do not come across as an amateur. So home buyers, like to view photos and videos of homes. And this has compelled our agents to hastily put on photographer and filmmaker hats. So they come out with a video camera or camera and take photographs and upload them and make YouTube videos and upload them on YouTube. So you actually might do more harm than good if you are not a good photographer or a videographer. So if you are not good at shooting photos, then seek professional help or obtain the skill set you need to do a professional job. But do not upload photographs or videos that looks bad. Have a web presence. It is very determining factor in choosing an agent. You must have come across an article of Google when 50% of Indian buyers search properties online. So it is reputation number 2 behind trustworthiness that you should have a web presence. So people will come across to you. Suppose a people has your buyer has come across an agent XYZ. He will go to book and Google it, whether he has a web presence or not. Suppose you have a web page and he finds a web page. What happens? There is nothing in it. So if nothing comes up when they Google you, some buyers will assume you are not very established in your business, and they may have a tough time putting their biggest purchase in your hands. If it is a Facebook page with some questionable photos, well, that will not likely win you any clients either. So either you should have a Facebook page with relevant news and pictures. Social networking page like LinkedIn often comes early in web searches than any other thing. So make sure they are up to date and represent your business and not anything else. Also take advantage of the recommendation feature of LinkedIn to highlight customer reviews. So according to various surveys, home buyers also say real estate agents and company websites have been useful in their home search. So here is they have rated some of the top features of the web presence. First, they like to have good photographs, then detailed information about properties for sale, virtual tours, interactive maps, real estate agent contact information, and neighborhood information. So all this should be a part of your website. Now do not dodge a question. What happens? There are certain questions you cannot answer, such as what kind of people live in this neighborhood. So you do not want to be racial, or is this home in the best school district, or maybe if you just ignore the question or gloss over it, you indirectly make the buyer lose faith in your knowledge about the market or feel like the question didn't matter. So you should keep data on demographics, crime, school reports with you, available in your website if possible. And even in a special buyer market, you give clients when touring homes. That way when they ask you a question you cannot answer, you can point them to where they can find it on their own. So you should not dodge a question, but you should have an answer ready, or you should be able to point them where they can find answer of the question. And follow the 3 E's: educate, empathize, and encourage. You will have to wear multiple hats as an agent. So be ready to educate the buyer on the area, what compatible homes are selling for, the average price per square feet in the neighborhood, and every stage in the buying process. Empathize. Buyers are bound to throw something at you that may seem absurd during the home search. So remember, this is a big search. Suppose you may get a cold feet and suddenly a seemingly easy fix to you. Suppose they like the color of the walls. It becomes a huge obstacle they cannot overlook. So even if the gripes is unreasonable, keep your cool, listen to the complaints so they feel heard, and then propose a practical solution or find a compromise. You should encourage them Once your buyer select the home, validate their lead decision. Review the priorities they stated in their home search and how well the home measures up. Did they find a good match? A big portion in the buying process is the feeling of validation that they make a good decision. Okay, Sagar bhai? Which will help lead them all the way to the closing table. Now, next. Another is don't disappear like Houdini. Okay, I did nothing. Okay. So after buyer select the house, don't just disappear until closing date. You will make them feel abandoned. Where buyers say they most want assistance in finding the right property, they want their agent's help with understanding the entire process and recommendation of service provided. Also documentation. So to end a transaction is really just the beginning to build a relationship with your clients, proving you will be there every step of the way and beyond the next time they need your services or their friend does. So if you do this, they are customer forever. Now we have discussed we should have a web presence, and if some of you have a good web presence and if you are getting internet leads, what you should do with online leads. So an online customer will send you an email and most probably anonymously. He will fill out a form on your website or maybe just send you a text message. So given today's challenging market condition, you want to treat this inquiry like gold. You may respond professionally, you must respond professionally, honoring prospect desire for privacy while also providing valuable information that will eventually turn them into clients. So we'll discuss 6 strategies that will help you accomplish this goal. And number 1 is to respond in kind. So if a prospect emails you, respond via email. If a prospect text message you, respond via text. The general rule is to respond in kind unless the inquiry explicitly asks you to do otherwise. So if he has emailed, don't just find his phone number and call him. So it says, do not call them. If you somehow require a prospect phone number, as I said, and you are tempted to pick up the phone, stop yourself. It is generally a very bad idea because you risk driving the potential client away because in all probability he or she just wanted information and not a salesperson trying to set up an appointment. Most people feel vulnerable and defensive when they are on phone with a salesperson with whom they do not have relationship. So, and that is the one reason why internet is such a popular place for prospect to gather information before speaking to a real estate professional. So it is ever appropriate to call an online prospect in response to online inquiry? No. There are a couple of exceptions. If those prospects explicitly ask you to call them and provide their phone number, please do call. If it is clear that the lead has come directly from your highly targeted website and the prospect offered their phone number voluntarily, then you should call. It is so important the leads come from your website because that is more likely they have already learned about your business and have started trusting you. And that's why they have given you their phone number. So that is a contrast from most inquiry from third-party lead generation services and inquiry you get from your own website. Also include your email signature like this. Most people do this now. Your email signature is actually an information block. usually at the end of your message, but it includes your complete contact information. In addition to being professional, it is required disclosure by some real estate regulatory jurisdiction. Okay, this email is sent to this person, and other than that, if anyone comes across, they should ignore it or send back, etc. So once you have established a solid and ongoing client relationship with the prospect, including your signature in each email message is no longer absolutely necessary. But however, you still may decide it's a good idea as it provides convenient way for your client to find your contact information. Please do so. Also, number 4, there is no such thing as too fast. As said, online consumers are a very impatient bunch. And because internet connects people around the world in just milliseconds, they expect a very fast response to their inquiries. And ideally, you will respond to email within few minutes. However, this presents a logistic problem if you are showing property at a listing appointment, or in the middle of heated negotiation, or on your vacation, or maybe on your child's birthday or something like that. So how can you be responsive without having to sit in from your computer all day? The most practical answer, in our opinion, is to use a virtual assistant who specializes in online lead management. So generally we do not have this practice of responding by a virtual assistant, but you can have an autoresponder in your email box that I have received an email and I will be shortly responding to your email as soon as possible, something like that, whatever suits you best. So you should do that. Keep in touch. I know, but we cannot change. We notice it. So best practice number 5 is to keep in touch, or else you risk losing the prospect forever. Maybe 20% of online real estate inquiries are prospect in the information gathering stage, and it can take 3 to 18 months or more than that from taking action. So if you want any chance of doing business with this massive 95% segment of online leads, you need a way to stay in touch that doesn't drive them away. So you can use drip marketing. It's one of the great solutions. Keep in touch like your drip irrigation works to turn your leads into closed transaction. And if you follow these guidelines, give them value. Every message of your campaign needs to be perceived as highly valuable by the recipient. You should not think that this is a junk message. If the prospect is part of a specific target market, like luxury buyer, first time buyer, primary market buyers, then put them into campaign that addresses their specific needs only. If you know is there interest in a particular property, then provide them with ongoing up-to-date information about properties and neighborhoods in the general area of their interest. Do not overwhelm or do not underwhelm. You want prospects to remember you for the right reasons. So avoid contacting them more than once a week, or you will likely push them away. On the other hand, make sure your campaign keeps in touch with them no less than once a month. Make it easy for them to say no thanks. So at the bottom of each message, include easy one-click opt-out instruction in case the prospect no longer wants to receive your message. Online consumers do not like to feel like they are trapped into receiving something they do not want. So also, see, most email drip campaign system track opt-out request. You can see whether your campaign is doing its job or right or not. And best practice number 6 is treat online leads also like human beings. Yes, because there is a person on the other end of that email you just received. That email has not come automatically. A person has sent it. So remember that online consumers are human beings just like you and me. The key is understanding human behavior in the online context and then leveraging that understanding into practical communication strategies that result in the highest likelihood of converting casual inquiries into closed transactions. So with this, we are ending this 7-chapter series of Fire Up. We had told last in marketing if we would cover online marketing later on, but as it's a big subject, we will have one more webinar on it. We will have one webinar on web presence, okay, how to have your complete web presence in DMAX or as a real estate agents. Also, we would be covering one slingshot seminar where you can make your own website using slingshot if you are allotted a slingshot website. So next few weeks we will be having those webinars. If any of you want to have a webinar on a specific subject, send an email on mgm@remax.in. Also for new joinees, we are going to have a one-day induction training on coming Monday. So if you have not yet, if your office has new agents and they have not yet registered, please send an email to Urvashi. Thank you very much for attending and listening peacefully. Okay, Urvashi, thank you.